So you probably think your style is your own. Like you pick your own clothes, you buy your own shoes, sunglasses, necklace, jewelry, etc. So naturally, you would assume that you dress for yourself. But what if I told you that most people aren't dressing for style, but more so they're dressing for approval? And the scariest part about it is most people don't even realize they're doing it. Because somewhere along the way, fashion stopped being about expression and then became more of a performance. And like, bro, just think about how often you heard the phrase dress to impress. And I remember when I first started really getting into fashion, I would hear that a lot, like dress to impress, bro. You have to dress to impress. It sounds like good advice, but who is the targeted person that you're supposed to be impressing? Is it your friend? Is it a random stranger? Is it the guy behind the counter at Starbucks? Or is it the guy that's sitting on the toilet scrolling on TikTok? And that's the last person you want to impress. I'm not gonna lie. Because once you start dressing for everybody else, you slowly stop dressing for yourself. And that's exactly what I feel like is happening to fashion right now. Imagine waking up tomorrow and no one could see your outfit. No Instagram, no TikTok, no comments, no likes, no friends, no strangers, literally nobody. Would you dress the same? And no one be like, yo, no, I would dress the same, bro. No, like seriously though, would you dress the same? And this is even a problem that I believe extends way beyond fashion. What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Fred. We are on the road to 10K, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. And with all that being said, let's get back into the video. At its best, fashion is like a language. You can learn stuff from a lot of people by simply on what they're wearing. And don't attack me in the comments. I'm not saying that you know their full-blown story, but you can kind of get an idea of, you know, how they are. If you see a girl, her hair is like midnight purple, and she has like a lot of face piercings, and she has like a cat tattoo, a spider tattoo, you can kind of identify what scene or what look she's trying to portray. And I feel like everybody has like a little language within their outfit. You can kind of understand their interest, their influence, or probably even their personality. Fashion is literally one of the few art forms that people participate in every day. You're making creative decisions, or at least you're supposed to be. Because as of lately, it feels like fewer people are making their own decisions and more people are waiting for instructions kinda on what to do. Often trying to figure out what's trending, what brands are cool right now, or what aesthetic should I follow today. And I know some of these sound really harmless, but they're all kind of pointing in the same direction, which is away from self-expression and more towards approval. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to be like this as well. I used to look at everybody else like, oh, okay, this is in. I'm probably gonna wear this, probably gonna throw these on, you know what I'm saying? Full ricer outfit. But now I swear to you, bro, I get up, I be like, yo, this swag. And then I just leave. Like, it's literally that simple. You do not have to think that hard about it. And now bringing back up the phrase that I said like earlier in this video, which I believe to be the biggest lie in fashion, dress to impress. I honestly think this phrase has done more harm than it has done good within fashion, because somewhere hidden inside that sentence is literally an assumption. The assumption being that fashion exists solely for other people. The moment your approval becomes your main goal, it's like your identity is almost like negotiable, because you stop asking, what do I actually like? And you start asking, what will people think? That tiny shift changes everything, because now your outfit isn't your expression, but more of a performance. And I'm not gonna lie, I sometimes still fall into this category. Honestly, like a couple days ago, I went to Dave & Buster's and I was going with a crowd of people, and I told myself I wanted to wear this right here, but I ended up not wearing that shirt at all, because I told myself, oh, I don't want to be too loud, I don't want to be too flashy. Granted, that is still kind of my own thinking, because I'm like, yo, we're finna just go have fun, I'm not trying to do nothing extra. But low key in the back of my mind, it's like, I think I'm like, oh, this guy going too hard, da 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 da. So I'm like, yeah, let me not wear it. And it's weird because you can have those two boundaries of like, okay, this is somewhat my opinion actually. And then you also have like, hey, what are they gonna think about this? But to enter a flow state and swag, you literally have to just be like, hey, this is tough, I'm not gonna lie. Equipped it and just walk out, bro. That's literally the best way to just be like, I don't care. Not in a way that's like, oh, I don't care and it's bad, but in a way of like, I don't care what they think, I like it. And I also don't want y'all to think I'm saying just mindlessly dress yourself, because there are a lot of people and a lot of influencers who have intention behind their dressing. They'll actually sit and think about an outfit before walking out, but the whole time that they're thinking is solely based on their interest and their expression. And I believe Dennis Rodman is like one of the best examples of this. One of my favorite players ever. Some guy actually said I look like Dennis Rodman, which he lied to me. I just have piercings and I'm black. There's literally nothing else that we have in common. I also do play basketball, but that's probably it. But Dennis Rodman literally just kind of threw on whatever he wanted, not caring about what other people think. And you would assume that he would. Like, he's this famous basketball player and he's known as one of the best rebounders ever to grace planet Earth. We see him as a basketball legend. Then he pops out in this crop top that looks like it belongs to a 22-year-old like swimsuit model. And I kind of admire how he's just like, I don't care. You know, I don't care about my status. I don't care about what people think. This is hard. I'm going to wear it. And that's what I aspire to be, a Dennis Rodman level threat, bruh. That we're stamping that Dennis Rodman level threat. Bro, I need to, I'm gonna get a Dennis Rodman poster in here somewhere, bro, I promise. But I say that to say this, people used to dress to communicate something, and now they dress to perform. And social media, I feel like, has poured a lot of gasoline on this problem. Because now every outfit has an audience. And I'm not gonna lie, there are people on the internet who also contribute to this. When I say there's an audience, it's like, say for instance, you're wearing what you want and you like, hey, this fit tough. Let me just do like a little TikTok spin, you know what I'm saying? And then like 4 or 5 guys in your comments are like, yo, bro, this is bunions. It's gonna make you start thinking a certain way if you don't have mental fortitude, for sure. Especially if you go to another person's TikTok and they're wearing something so ricey, bro, something so performative, and all their comments are like, oh yeah, tough. This is hard. This is such and such. This is fire. You're gonna be like, okay, everybody likes this. He's getting attention. Let me throw on something similar so I can get that attention, which you should not do. Every outfit can be judged. Every outfit can succeed and every outfit can fail. Just stick to your swag. My fits were so garbage. Like, they were so trash. Some of them are still trash. I look back like 2 months ago and like, why did I put this on? That's a part of the growth, twin. That's a part of the growth. And so because of all of the internet backlash and all the people getting on other people for their fit being just bad, people are starting to optimize, not for expression, but for approval. Like, hey, what can give me a bunch of likes? What can give me a bunch of attention? It's like the modern god of fashion isn't creativity. It's not self-expression and it's not individuality. It's literally all about validation. Validation decides what's cool. Validation also decides what's cringe or even what's trending at this very moment. And because validation changes like constantly at a rapid speed, fashion literally moves faster than ever. Like, think about Sambas. People swallow Sambas, spit it out. People swallow Labubu, spit it out. People swallow. It's a bunch of things that just don't stay. You think about fashion within the 2000s and how we're all like, oh my God, I wish we can go back to it. If you look from fashion from back then versus now, the amount of trends we have now is literally just out of control. Like, I can make a whole top 100 list on every trend that we had and how it just literally within the last 7 months. And I don't even want to talk about a year. That's terrible. It's like trends now have the lifespan of a goldfish. And I feel like another part of the problem is influencers. Not influencers being the problem, but it's like if a large, how do I say this? If people see their favorite influencer, whether you be a fashion influencer or just a regular influencer in general, people will see that like, oh, that looks cool. Bunch of people copy, and now everybody's looking the same. And then a month later, no one's wearing it, and then everybody acts like they never liked it. It's like, bro, what is this? It's not even trends. It's more like fashion mood swings. And this isn't just a TikTok problem. You see it everywhere, from schools, workspaces, the mall, and even concerts. Like, for example, luxury brands, cars, and probably even phones. These are 3 completely different things, right? Yet people buy all 3 for the same exact reason. And sometimes that reason tells a genuine story. Maybe someone really loves the craftsmanship behind a certain garment. Maybe the car enthusiast really loves this new engine and the driving experience. And the tech guy bought the phone and fell in love with it mainly for its specs and, I don't know, it had a better camera or something. Those are all real reasons, or those are all genuine reasons to buy something. But a lot of the time, the actual story behind someone just buying a car, phone, or anything for any matter is mainly so people can think they're successful. And people will literally just spend years paying off a car just to look cool at the stoplight for other people for 3 seconds. Meanwhile, the person next to them is literally trying to find what song to play next. Most people aren't paying nearly as much attention as you think they are. They're too busy worrying about themselves, just like you are. And I have a perfect example of this. I remember my first time ever skating. Shout out to my guy Carrie. That's my OG, bro. He taught me how to skate. And I remember when I first ever got to the skate park, it was like a bunch of tryhards. And while learning how to skate, I was super scared to skate in front of them because I'm like, these guys are gonna say, oh, he don't know what he's doing, he's trash. And then Carrie told me, he's like, yo, bro, what are you behind here for? And I'm like, yo, I don't want them to think I'm trash. He's like, yo, they're not paying attention to you. They're trying to land their own tricks. And then I really came to understanding, like, these guys actually aren't paying attention to me. I fell a multitude of different times, and they would just be like, yo, bro, you straight? I'd be like, yeah. They put their headphones back in and keep skating. I was like, yo, like, why was I ever scared? The problem was I was scared to look bad in front of them. But the whole time, they were not paying attention at all. And converting this back to fashion, a lot of people want to look wealthy. So much so that an entire aesthetic blew up online based around appearing rich. Like, if you think about it, it's kind of stupid because, you know, the wealthiest people don't walk around flaunting their money. Like, they don't do money spread. They don't boast online about having dumb bread. And they don't have the craziest, most outstanding outfit on. But to a lot of people, it became more about social positioning. People weren't buying into a style. They're still not buying into a style. They're buying into what they think the style represents. They want status, they want to be important, or they want approval. And you see the same thing happen in streetwear. Streetwear didn't start as a fashion trend. It started as a culture. Music, communities, local scenes. People created something because it represented who they were. Then eventually the clothes became more important than the culture itself, which I'm not gonna lie, I think it is necessarily important to preserve cultures. If you haven't seen that video, I suggest you check it out. It's a really cool watch after this one, of course. But back to what I was saying, it's like people were like trying to wear the uniform without understanding the scene behind said uniform. And once all this happens, like I said before, fashion literally stops being about expression and becomes cosplay because people are wearing identities that they actually never built. And I touched lightly on being a poser before, and I said I don't think being a poser is about wearing the wrong clothes. I think a poser is a person who abandons themselves to gain acceptance. Like, a poser isn't someone who just likes a trend. I'm pretty sure in your lifetime you've liked a trend before. That's everybody. A poser is a person who changes who they are depending on what crowd they're around. And getting back to my other point about social media, it doesn't reward originality. Like, let's try to understand it. When I say the internet, also I'm meaning like people on the internet, not the internet as, you get what I'm saying. The algorithm loves things people can like instantly recognize, which means trends tend to move faster than individuality. Like, y'all remember the whole quarter zip epidemic? It's like that trend came and then literally within like a month and a half, it was just gone off the face of the earth. At the time, so many people were seeing that specific silhouette and just got accustomed to it. Then after a while, that buzz that surrounded the quarter zip just disappeared. And I think the consequences go way beyond fashion. Fashion is just the easiest place to see it, because sometimes I feel like the algorithm kind of tells you what music to like, what hobbies are cool at the moment. Like, bro, pickleball, bro. You can't go nowhere without seeing pickleball. And I fell victim to it. The people on the internet tells you what clothes matter. And then eventually people just tend to stop making decisions for themselves and just fall in line to the blueprint that's already available. And it's like people try to be different. Everybody wants to be different, but just not that different. Everybody wants to stand out, but not stand alone. And I can definitely understand why, because standing alone is just scary. And a lot of fashion content online survives by selling fear. The fear of being outdated, the fear of being cringe, the fear of dressing wrong, the fear of standing out too much. You watch enough of this content and you scare yourself enough to follow the blueprint. The problem is that fear creates conformity, and then the conformity creates copies. People stop experimenting, people stop taking more risks, and people stop discovering their own taste. Not because they agree with the crowd, but because they have a fear of being rejected by the crowd. But the most funniest thing about all of this, the most influential people in history did the exact opposite of following the crowd. Take Michael Jackson, the glove, the jacket, the silhouette. Nobody told him, hey, I feel like this will work. He just got up and did it. And a lot of people just copied him. Same with Allen Iverson. The whole NBA literally changed because of him. The streetwear influence, the baggy jeans, the long chains, the attitude, the culture. Allen Iverson did not ask for permission to do none of that. He just inherently brought his world to basketball, and a lot of people followed. Then you also have Rick Owens. Bro did not spend his career asking what everybody else wanted. He kind of just built an entire universe around his own vision. And there is definitely a pattern in all of this. None of these people got influenced by following trends. They became influential by trusting themselves. And at the end of the day, I don't even really think fashion is solely just about clothes. It's also about courage. Having the courage to wear what you want and wear what you like. The courage to have your own taste. Courage to not care about being judged. Or just the courage to just not care. Because the people who change culture are literally the ones never following it. they're the ones willing to stand apart from everybody else. Oh my God, I'm in my bag, chat. Nah, but if you made it this far, we're on our way to the big 6K. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. And if you enjoyed this video kind of basically on your self-identity, I feel like you should actually watch my video on gatekeeping, because I literally feel like gatekeeping is actually needed, especially in modern day society with this internet. I just feel like it's the perfect follow-up for this conversation, honestly. But with all that being said, it's been your boy Fred. Just dress for swag, and we out. Red Bull should sponsor me, bro. I can't be the only person after drinking a Red Bull. Is this on? Oh, wow. After drinking a Red Bull, bro, like I always have to have water. If I don't have water, I can't drink a Red Bull. Because like Red Bull is like such a dry drink, and that has to make sense. That literally has to make sense. But the thing about it where it gets you is I don't even care that Red Bull gives me energy. I just like the taste of it. Is that bad? That's definitely bad. All right, let's actually get into it.